What is up, everybody? Patty Schnee here again today, back at it again with another video. Today I'm going to be counting down my top 10 favorite metal/rock songs of 2020. Now, while 2020 was not necessarily the year we all expected it to be, I do think that some great music in the metal/rock genre has come out of this year, and I want to take the time to share with you my favorite songs of this year. Now, as always, if you have your own top 10 list, or you just have a few of your favorite songs from this year that you want to tell people about, put them down in the comments below and I will engage with you guys. Before we get started, I want to give you a few of my honorable mentions. These are songs that did not quite make the top 10 list, but I believe deserve to still be recognized. 3 of these songs include Guilty Hands by Nine Lashes, The Decree by Lacey Sturm, and Locked in My Head by Fit for a King. Without further ado, let's get into my official top 10 list.
It's a parasite, gotta feel it in your stomach cause you know that it's coming for you.
Coming in at the number 10 spot, we have the song Parasite Eve by Brimey the Horizon. Now, there's got to be something said about the fact that Brimey the Horizon made my year-end list 2 years in a row. Last year, they made it with the single Ludens, and this year with the song Parasite Eve. Both of these songs are off their latest EP, Post-Human Survival Horror. Throughout Brimey the Horizon's career, they've experimented with a lot of different sounds. However, this EP sees them coming full circle to the heavy-hitting music that they originally created. This EP also sees them experimenting with the same types of sounds that they used in their more poppy-sounding album, Amo. This song, specifically, is kind of the perfect example of their marriage of these two types of sounds. It starts off kind of experimental and it moves into a heavier sound as you progress through the song. And, of course, you can't forget that breakdown. One of the biggest reasons I love this song. Coming in at my number 9 spot, we have the song King of Misery by Saul. Now, this is perhaps the most surprising entry on this list, seeing as I only heard it for the first time a few weeks ago. However, it has been one of my favorite songs of 2020 ever since. The reason this song is so great is because it couples heavy elements with catchy elements, and they blend beautifully. It's got a mesmerizing melody and an unforgettable main riff. Couple that with some Starset vibes and chugging rhythmic guitars, and you got a recipe for success. Seriously, this song has been stuck in my head since I first heard it, and it definitely deserves to be there. If you've never heard of Saul, go check out their newest album and headbang to this song all the way into 2021. Coming in at number 8, we have the song Amongst the Shadows and the Stones by Trivium. Now, to be entirely honest, I wasn't that huge of a fan of this band until they released their latest album, What the Dead Men Say. This album surprised the heck out of me, and this track, Amongst the Shadows and the Stones, is easily the most notable off of this album. The instrumentation is quite complex, as well as the fact that the aggressiveness of this track brings quite a bit of energy to this entire album, and that's why it stands out for me. That's also why it's number 8 on this list. Coming in at number 7, we have the song Animals by Architects. Architects released 2 singles this year, Animals and Black Lungs. And while I believe Black Lungs is definitely the more generic of the two, Animals sees Architects moving in a different direction sonically. Their electronic elements coupled with that amazing heavy bass tone makes this song very unique sounding. Hopefully their new album has the same kind of experimentation. And who knows, maybe we'll see another one of their tracks on my next year-end list. Coming in at number 6, we have the song Blessed Be by Spiritbox. This is yet again another artist that I only just recently discovered, and they've made quite a splash in 2020 with their 3 single releases, Blessed Be, Holy Roller, and Constance. The reason that Blessed Be beats out Holy Roller and Constance to get on this list is because I believe it takes the best elements from both of these singles and combines them into one track. You see Holy Roller having heaviness for heaviness' sake, and you see Constance taking you on a more emotional journey. However, Blessed Be shows Courtney utilizing both of these vocal techniques to create a song that is both emotional and heavy. You start off with the verses, you get to hear her emotional, soft, soothing sounding, singing voice. And when you get into the bridge, you get to hear her scream. And the first time I ever heard Courtney LaPlante scream, I couldn't believe it was her. Now, I've heard screaming from vocalists like the one from Ginger, and I always thought, man, that's crazy that a woman is screaming, but it didn't draw me in quite like Courtney LaPlante's vocals did. Her screaming kind of reminds me more of Sam Carter from Architects or Eddie Berg from Imminence, in the fact that it's a lot more of an angsty sounding screaming, and that's why I like it so much. At the number 5 spot, we have the song Cauterized by Red. Now, Red was on my list last year, and they're also my favorite band of all time, so it's no surprise that they're on my list this year, seeing as they just released a new album called Declaration. While Declaration definitely had some typical Red elements in it, it also saw them experimenting with some new sounds. They decided to tune their guitars a little lower and make their heaviest album to date, which I have no problems with. They also had their former drummer Joe Rickard mix the entire album, and that definitely gave it a little bit different of a sound. However, this song Cauterized, in the midst of an album filled with mostly heavy songs, you have the song Cauterized, and in the middle of this song, it just breaks down into a part that's the most emotional and vulnerable part of the entire album. And I feel like the entire album is kind of building to this point, which is why I love this song so much and why it is my favorite off of this album and deserves a spot in this top 10. At the number 4 spot, we have the track Blood from a Stone by Sevendust. Over the past few months, I have progressively become more and more of a Sevendust fan. But my biggest critique with Sevendust in the past has always been that most of the tracks sound pretty similar. Blood from a Stone used elements from tracks that I believe were their most successful. Tracks such as Here and Now, Shine, and Unforgiven. This track made me hugely excited for their latest album, Blood and Stone. And when that album released, it did not disappoint. If you have not checked out their latest album, go check it out, because I personally believe that this whole album kind of flew under the radar this year and did not get the recognition that it deserved. Coming in at number 3, we have the song Dissociative by the band Seven. Now, this is also a band that I only just recently got into. I'd heard a few things about them in the past, but I never really started listening to them until this year, and boy am I glad that I did. This track, Dissociative, is off their latest album, and to me the best thing about this track is its instrumentals. The track is a little bit long, but it definitely does not overstay its welcome, and its dissonant riff really hooks you into the song right from the get-go.
Down, buried beneath, I feel like I'm running out of time.
Coming in at the number 2 spot, we have the song Down by the band Love and Death. Love and Death is a side project of Korn's lead guitarist Brian Head Welsh, and while I'm not that big into Korn, I am a huge fan of this band. Their debut album, Between the Here and Lost, really surprised me, and I personally believe that there is not a bad song off of that album. Specifically, their latest single, Down, takes elements off of that album and capitalizes off of them. Elements such as super solid rhythmic structure, Brian's already fantastic and unique vocals, and some chunky low-tuned riffs. And you can't forget my favorite element of Love and Death's music, their bends. Specifically on this track, you have an already successful, well-written riff that intros the song. But midway through the intro riff, you have a bend that pulls you in and then rockets you back out into the rest of the riff until the song is introed. Couple that with some atmospheric backing and you have a track that is larger than life. I am super excited that this band is back, because when Brian Head Welsh went back to Korn, I really thought that this project was dead in the water. But now, since coronavirus has given him more time to pour into this project, he's actually gained some familiar faces, such as one of my favorite music creators, Jason Roush, who has worked with some of my favorite bands such as Red and Breaking Benjamin. This track is definitely deserving of being number 2 on this list. And it was even hard for me to put it at 2 because I kind of wanted to put it at 1, but number 1 definitely deserves to be number 1. So, without further ado, let's get into my number 1 pick for the year 2020. My number one pick for the year 2020 is the song Outsider by the band Veil of Maya. Now, I had never heard of this band until I heard this track, and I tried to get into their other songs, but none of them have quite connected with me like this one has. I think the reason for that is that this song is kind of an anthem for the year 2020. Its lyrics are socially relevant, the whole atmosphere of this track brings about an eerie feeling that 2020 did, and its instrumentals are refreshingly unique. Also, you can't forget how it slowed down and then hits you at the end with that screaming and crazy instrumentation. Something that I believe is kind of a little bit of a taste of what 2020 was like. When I look back on this song, I will forever remember the craziness that went down this year. But I will also remember the amazing music that came out of it. So here's to 2021 and the great music that's going to come out this year. Speaking of great music in 2021, before I go, I want to plug my band that just started up. We have a debut single coming out January 20th, 2021, entitled Decaying, and I've been working super hard on it. We will also have a music video that will come along with it. Please go follow us at in.tension.music on Instagram or Intentional Music on Facebook. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this countdown, and if you did, please hit a like, subscribe. I do videos like this coming soon. I'm hoping to get back into the swing of things and get more YouTube videos out to you guys. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you later. Peace out.